I want to encourage those of you who are getting a little bit behind in the mid-semester and kind of freaking out about how am I going to do all this work and finish the essay. I want to encourage you not to panic. You've already done a lot of the work. And even though I didn't explicitly point out how your work over the past 2 weeks, weeks 6 and 7, prepares you for this essay, it really does. That's all of our homework has been getting your content for the essay. So let me show you how, if over the next few days you catch up on all your work from week 6 and 7 and go in maybe by the end of the weekend to get all that stuff done and the first draft of your essay, let me show you how it all holds together. And I kind of remind you, 80% of your work is done before you write. That's why I have all these assignments. You basically have two paragraph sections in the essay, roughly. Some of your homework may have been one, but you have the content that'll help you with two paragraphs segments. The first one is going to be Gaetan Dugas' epidemiological role. You'll remember a few weeks back, last week I believe, we looked at his role in the cluster study. Was he really, as Schultz calls him, patient zero, or was he really just one of thousands of people who were infected with something and didn't even know it? That is, most of the people Schultz accuses Gaetan Dugas of infecting and thereby killing were infected long before they met Gaetan Dugas. So that's part one. You're going to compare how Schultz presents him and how some of the other, or you're going to present how Schultz presents his role in the epidemic and how other writers, like that 1987 Washington Post article, show that it's very likely he isn't. So you've got a 924 discussion, that's a week ago. You've got from last week the Los Angeles cluster study paragraph, and you have my voice thread, and you have two views of Gaetan Dugas. So you've already done that work. You have the material for a couple of paragraphs, one explaining how Schultz presents him, and one explaining how, well, Schultz very likely got it wrong. That is, in relation to his role in the epidemic. So you've got the content. You're going to have to review it, make sure your quotes are really good, shape it into a couple of paragraphs, but you have already done this work. And if you need to catch up, guess what? By the time you catch up, you will have had those two paragraphs, half of the body of Essay 2 already put together. You'll have that information. And then the second two body paragraphs are about Gaetan Dugas as a person, not as his role in the epidemic. And again, you're doing that work this week, I should say. So you've got a couple of accounts that provide a very humane account of Gaetan Dugas, and then you have Schultz, who presents him as kind of a narcissistic villain who's only interested in himself, his looks, getting laid, and he doesn't care how many people he kills. And then you have some readings that show, no, he's a much more complicated person, and perhaps somebody who was, like so many people before the virus was discovered, quite confused, had no idea that he was carrying something that could harm other people, and really just didn't deliberately hurt anybody, didn't know enough to know that what he carried in his blood was harmful. And you've already, by the end of this week, you will have done that work. You will have the information. Gaetan Dugas the villain, Gaetan Dugas the ignorant, like everybody, nobody knew, and confused person who really didn't want to harm anybody. So that's it. Those are your 4 body paragraphs. It's that simple. By the time you finish your homework, you're ready. You have the content for the essay. Now, you're going to want to review it, of course. You always do. You read and read and read and make your notes and get your quotes. And then eventually, when it's time for essay, you probably reread, look at the best parts. You don't have to reread everything. You want to brainstorm your topic sentences that answer those 2 questions and get your quotes together. You've got all that work done in chapters 6 and 7. You want to write your body paragraphs or reshape some of the ones you've already submitted. And then finally, you start writing the essay. And this is all there for you. You've already done that work. So what I'm trying to tell you is get caught up on the work for weeks 6 and 7. Dig in. Get yourself even with that. And then get that rough draft of the essay. I'll put the link up. It'll be due next Tuesday. That's October 6th. That's a body paragraph, an introduction and 2 body paragraphs. That's all I'm looking at. See how you're handling the material. And then and I'll respond to that with a brief commentary on Wednesday, October 7th. And then your essay is due Friday. And again, those 4 body paragraphs, 2 on his role in the epidemic, that's week 6. 2 on what kind of a person he is, that's week 7 homework. Set up an introduction, wrap it up with a conclusion, and you are done. So I am used to people getting in a panic mid-semester. Don't. You're a lot closer to Essay 2 than you think. So get the homework from chapters 6 and 7 done. Get on top of it. Write that rough draft, introduction and 2 body paragraphs by Tuesday. I'll give you feedback on Wednesday next week, and you can hand the final essay in on Friday. I'm just trying to let you know that it seems like a lot, but you've already done in finishing your homework much of the heavy lifting. So I hope this puts a couple of you at ease and also gives you a sense of where you are, what you need to do over the next 8 days.